Hey everyone, what's up? I just figured I'd do a little video today, a little walkthrough of some stuff that I'm working on. I'm gonna try to keep the IGTV and the YouTube kind of stocked up with some content. I figure some of you guys like to see the in progress stuff, behind the scenes stuff. So I'm gonna do my best to try to keep that stuff on the regular here. So I'll flip this around, show you what I got going on here this morning. All right, so I already got these all stamped up, but just figured I'd show you my process for finishing these. I'm probably gonna have two different finishes available today with these 2.0 culprits. They're copper, half-inch copper. So I just use a basic hand stamp. This is Buckeye engraving. Does all my stamps. So I got the large one, the small guy, and I have medium size one. So when you see those on stuff, if you didn't already know, that's how they get there. And then I just use just a little 5-pound hammer, smack them on there. That's about the extent of that. Then after this, I take it over to my little mini mill and I chamfer up all these little holes. So I might do like just a little time lapse on that process, and then we'll get into the next step. In the meantime, as I get like the culprits all finished up and get them in the tumbler and stuff, while in the background I like to have stuff running on this laser. So probably going to be running some more of these Craft Brew Junkies cap lifter sleeves. So you guys saw those. Gonna get some more going on here, get them stitched up, and after these are done, I'll get something else running on there. So if anyone's sick of seeing the leather stuff, I'm sorry. I just got this, so I want to keep stocked up on some basic merch and get some other projects going. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what I'm able to come up with this. Just because it's within reach. Doing some stuff like that, some different mats, coasters. I think I'm gonna do some mouse pads and just some weird stuff that not a lot of people are doing, and just to kind of keep the branding up. So that's that. All right, so what I use, I think it's a 30-degree, just a regular carbide single flute chamfering tool, and then that's what it does. The copper's a little bit gummy, so it gets a little kind of a burr on it, but that all comes off whenever I blast them and tumble them. So, but this is a nice little accent that I wanted to do, since I did it on all the knives that have the 3 holes. That's that. And now I'll take them in, get them all blasted. Probably do another time lapse on that because you guys don't really want to see that. So, and then after I blast them, I'll darken them, get them in a tumbler. All right, so I'll apologize ahead of time, but normally when I'm working, I bounce around a lot. I'll have like various piles of stuff that's half finished and in different phases. It's just how my brain is. So I'll bounce around a little bit, going back from the leather stuff to the laser into the culprits and finishing, and just show you what a normal day is like for me. Usually pretty scattered. I have a hard time focusing on one thing for that long, but in the end, I guess it works out. So I'm going to show you how I'm getting this laser stuff going, and then we'll get back to the culprits. Got my material loaded up, and just to anyone that might be looking, this is a Boss LS 1420, and man, this thing is just awesome. It's got these four pass-through doors, so if anyone saw the axes that I did, they were super long, and I was able to just open up the door. And the area to work with is 14 by 20, but it's more like 13 by 19 essentially. And then if you're engraving, it has some over travel, so you'll lose a little bit there. So I was really kind of planning on to be able to do that full size, but it's not too bad. It's still a lot of room to work. But it has a nice feature, little autofocus. So go on autofocus, hit enter, and then it goes down, or actually the table comes up. Some sensors there, and it tells me, you know, the perfect focal length for the laser. I get it set up in a corner. If you guys saw that or not, there's a little laser pointer in there, so you can kind of see where you're at. So I'll get it there, set my starting point. Also known as the origin. I'm running some of these cap lifter sleeves. So that's about how many I can get on this. And there's actually one little spot, this branding here on the leather I want to try to avoid. But we'll get the file loaded up. Shows you a little preview on the screen, and then I'll tell you what the colors mean. So blue is just the score line where I stitch. The black is the engraving, and then the red is the cut. So it has 3 different layers within the artwork, and then they each have their own speed and power setting, and it's all like millimeters per second. So you can see them there, 100 millimeters a second for the little score line at 10% power. The engraving 350, a little faster, 11%, just so it doesn't. I just want to kind of burn the top layer of the leather. I don't want to cut through, because if you have tools in there and you're bending it and it's mooring to it, it's gonna want to split. So, and then this is the cut, 15 millimeter per second at power 70%. And then this has a feature, a frame, and it'll show you the outline of the area that you have set. So it makes it nice. So what I'll do is, like, this bottom margin and this extra that'll be left over, I'll use that for like the patches and stuff. So set my origin, shut the lid here, because this does have like underneath this table, it has all kind of tubes and stuff for exhaust. And then back here you can see this like grill, and it all exhausts out the window here. So no fumes, no smoke, none of that. Sorry, it's filthy. Let's start, see if we can get her going. Looks like we're off. So it's just starting the top of the engraved artwork. And it'll go through and it'll do 170s at a time in completion, then it'll move to the next. There's a way that you can, you group everything together and it'll do like the whole width. But I don't like that. In case something happens, you can stop it on one piece. If that makes sense. Alright, back to some culprits. Alright, so I'll show everyone the 2 blast cabinets that I have. Got this Scat Blast, and it comes with this dust collector, and this thing's really sweet. It's I think I even like it over my other one, and this one was cheaper, and it's huge. It's got this giant opening on the top. So nice little grate in there, so you don't lose some smaller things. A little trigger, my makeshift ground there, because when it gets dry, this thing will really shock me. It's got a nice little floodlight in there. There's a brush for some reason over there. Yeah, plenty of room in there to work around. Then it's got these. I mean, if you have blast cabinets and whatever, you already know the deal. But I figure for anyone that doesn't, if you're trying to figure out some stuff, I'll show you what brands I have, what tools I have, and some details about them in case you're looking for something. But this just has these double-sided tape clear lenses that are replaceable. Excuse me. Then I have this Trinco Model 20. This thing's cool. It's small. You can see inside here. It's got a real fine grate in it, so you can do some real small stuff. And I actually use, I show this on occasion. This is from Cerakote. It's just a little shake can. So you can put like little parts in there, and you just put your nozzle in there and shake it around instead of having to hold every little tiny piece. And I keep the Zerblast in this cabinet. You can see it there. And what it does is it creates little like micro dents, which gives it like that matte, shiny kind of finish. So that's what goes in this cabinet. And in this cabinet I use like aluminum oxide or garnet just for cutting, getting rid of any discoloration. So usually I'll blast in this one first, then go over to this one for the finishing, and it just gives a nice like repeatable finish without being chalky like regular blasting does. But yeah, I don't know. I like this cabinet. It's nice and small, but sometimes like these are like so close together. I kind of feel like T-Rex when I'm using it. Dust collector, I'm not super crazy about. Pardon, it's filthy over here. This is the dirty room, so there's nothing pretty over here. But this thing's built really well, and this one actually has these little wing nuts that come off, and then the glass comes out, and then the replacement lens goes on the inside here, so it just etches that, and then you just replace that as needed. But I'm gonna get some loaded up here. I'm gonna get some of these loaded up here, and I'm gonna have more than 5 culprits available. I just figured for the video, it makes sense just to do 5 and make it go a little quicker for you guys that are watching. And I'll have I'm gonna do some in the cutting cabinet, get them nice and chalky, and then I'm gonna blacken and tumble those, and then I'll probably do half with the Zerblast in the other cabinet, and probably leave them alone. I might do like a little kind of forced patina or something on them. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge. So, all right, I'm gonna do a little time lapse here of the blasting, and we'll keep it going. We're trucking right along here with these. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets done. I wish I could stitch these as fast as, get them glued up and stitch them as fast as this thing laser cuts them. It's pretty cool stuff. All right. Welcome to my laboratory. This is where I, obviously do any kind of etching or darkening, blackening, patina, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty ugly over here. What I use that's in this mason jar right here is this from Birchwood Casey. It's brass black. It just works really well. I used to use gun blue a little bit, and sometimes it would work, and then it just wouldn't last, and you could only get like one use out of it. But this stuff, that jar will last 6 months, or I mean even longer than that. So what I do is I go to Harbor Freight. I stock up on these little white zip ties, and I will ideally probably should have gloves on just to avoid getting fingerprints on this, because this finish it's porous now, so it'll collect oils and that'll show up in your etch. But since I'm going to be darkening and tumbling these, it's not going to matter too much. And what these zip ties do is when you're tumbling them, after I darken them, it keeps them from landing in the tumbler face to face and sticking. So the zip ties keep them away from each other, and they'll roll away instead of getting stuck and sliding face to face. That way every side gets an even finish to it. And this tumbling is more for looks than actually any kind of deburring or anything like that. After water jet, I have everything tumbled, so all the edges are smooth from that. So that's that. All right, now what I do is I just take one, dunk it in, agitate it a little bit. It seems to help quicker. I'll bang it around a little bit. Just sometimes there's little nooks and crannies that'll create little bubbles in there, and they won't darken up. But it doesn't take long. You can already see it's pretty well black. I just keep it in there, swirl it around for a couple minutes. Then when I'm done, go in some Windex, neutralize it a little bit. And I'm not going to tell you have to do this, have to do it this way, whatever. I mean, if you have something that works, cool. If you don't care at all, you're not a maker, not into this stuff, and you're just curious how I get the finishes, this is how I do it. Maybe I should have gloves on. I just don't. So that's what you get there. Then I just toss it down in my tumbler, and I'll get to that in a minute. I'll just do a quick little time lapse of this, and we'll continue. Okay, got these pieces in a tumbler here, and this is just a larger one from Harbor Freight. It's served me well. I know there's some bigger ones that are, a few $100s or whatever, but this one's worked really well. I just have some basic ceramic media in there, a cup of water, some Dial soap, and I mean, this is not for any kind of deburring. So I know a lot of guys will run fresh water and have it dripping out this drip hose and whatnot, but this is more for visual, so this works for me. Kick it on here, let it get all. For about 5 minutes or so in a tumbler. So all the dark stuff stays down in the nooks and crannies and a little bit on the surface. Then I just they'll be a little chalky, and I just give them a little shot of WD-40. I use WD-40 a lot on a lot of stuff. It just gives a nice little finish on some stuff. Let that soak in there a couple minutes, and I'll wipe them down. Ready to roll. All right, so that's that for now. I still got to finish the rest of them. Hopefully that helped some of you guys. If there's any other makers watching and we're looking for advice and tips and stuff on finishing copper, at least it gives you an idea how I do it. A little peek into my morning, what I was up to today. And if you're not a maker and you're just a customer or someone just tuning in, appreciate you taking your time to check out what I'm doing and all the support. Extremely grateful. These culprits will be available here in a little bit. So hope you all have a good day.